All right, this is going to be a very Islanders-oriented video. So a question I have based on my most recent acquisition is, are we being too hard on this jersey right here? And I think it's worthy discussion. So you have your regular home jersey, which of course I got cheap because it had Tavares on the back, and I got it right after he signed with Toronto. So as much as people want to say, oh, it's a troll job by Shannon and Islander fans, no, this was a cheap way to get it. It was half the price that I was going to pay for it otherwise. And I have thought about at times replacing this with a blank, to be honest. But why? So that's been a problem. Now I have a blank. Now, this of course is the color scheme that they used before they went back to the faded blue. I've always preferred these colors. I have always preferred the darker blue. I've always thought it looks nicer. Now the orange is exactly the same. There's no difference. The blue is the difference. And of course the stripes are they're reversed. That's your reverse part. Now, could they have hit this out of the park if they put the lighthouse on it? Sure. Could they have hit it out of the park if they put the fisherman on it? Maybe. But here's the thing. So if the New York Islanders had come out any other season and said, so this is going to be our new third jersey, I don't think anybody would have said anything. I think people would have said, wow, that's a nice jersey. I'm glad they're doing that. That's a fun idea for a third, right? But because of the retro reverse, because of this big reveal, and all these teams were doing all these really different, crazy, or really nice throwbacks to a previous era, to see this, people went, wait, did the Islanders not get the memo? Did somebody in marketing go, all right, so here's our reverse retro, to which somebody else said, it's different how? I have to say with the reverse retros too, thank God they got rid of the lousy shoelaces. Honestly, the laces on the Adidas are less than useless. They are pointless. They are. I know there's an aesthetic to them, but the aesthetics, the time has passed for the laces. It really has. On the Reeboks, they looked okay. Not that they were any more useful on the Reeboks, but on these, a lot of the Adidas, they actually have them tacked down, so you can't move them. You can't do anything with them. So they're part of the jersey, which is weird. And I think it looks a lot. And cleaner is the term people would use without the laces. If you're not going to have a neckline that needs laces to keep it closed, like old-fashioned jerseys from the 70s, then maybe don't keep using it. So I'm very supportive of the idea that they're getting rid of the laces. Remember when they came back, they looked kind of sharp, but we're past that now. I think we're past that now. Again, I kind of get it. Like the idea that somehow this is underwhelming, but I like the neckline better on this one too. I do. I like the neckline better on this one. The logo is identical. The only difference is the colors. So I understand why people look at this and say, well, they didn't participate. But I want to say this: I am tracking which ones I like the best out of the retro reverse that I have thus far. This is not at the bottom of the list. So there'll be a new power rankings once I've filled the collection up. This is not at the bottom anymore, which is weird because I thought it would be. But I kind of prefer this jersey to this one. And maybe that's part of what the thinking was, well, why don't we just put something together with, the old colors, and eventually maybe this becomes a third. The third that they've been using the last couple of years is okay, but I think I prefer this look to the third they've been using. So maybe that's the plan. Eventually this becomes the third jersey. So yeah, I think this one gets a bit of a hard time. I understand why. I gave it a hard time when it was announced. I put it at the bottom of the power rankings. I made all the remarks. I'm taking a lot of it back. I still get it. I'm not saying this was necessarily the best, but think about it this way too. So they bring out a lighthouse, or they bring out a fisherman jersey. How long before people are laughing at it and they're retiring it? Right? Like the Wild Wing. I love the Wild Wing. It's great. I finally have an Anaheim Wild Wing. There's no way they wear that for years and years and years on end. This one might be a permanent jersey. It's possible. And it's one of those things that I will be looking at once we've got them all lined up, and I can look and say, all right, so which one of these actually becomes a regular third jersey? This may actually end up being that. So maybe it gets ridiculed out of the gate, but long term, you just take this reverse retro logo off here in the 1980, you just make it a regular jersey. It would not be the first time that's happened. We've seen it with Winter Classics. We've seen it with stadium jerseys. We've seen it with a bunch of jerseys that the the specialty jersey ends up becoming a regular jersey. So yeah, Islanders. I'd be interested to know what you guys think. If you've got one or you've seen one, what do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And again, it's not actually all that bad. And honestly, it's not going to be at the bottom.